Hey guys, Minette here with another tutorial video for Great Impressions rubber stamps. Today I'm going to be using this fun heart puzzle image. It's called F572 heart puzzle, and then my little sentiment down here that says friends. I'm not sure if you can see it very well because it's kind of glittery, is actually just a portion of the sentiment B233 for friends. And what I'm going to be showing you is how to get this colored and glittery effect after you've stamped a lined image onto black cardstock. And I'm sure that this has been done before, but I'm calling this technique just coloring with liquid pearls because that's what we're going to use to get the vibrant colors on this image, okay? And you can kind of see the shine from the glitter that I put over it, which is an optional step. But what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of black cardstock and your image. And I've already stamped this and embossed it with white embossing powder onto the cardstock. So you're going to want to do that. I just did that to save some time. And then you're going to need your colors of liquid pearls that you want to use. And then you're going to, optional step, stickles. The other things that I'm going to have going over here in the background are a pin. And I keep that close to me whenever I'm working with something that has a little nozzle like these, because that way you can just poke it down in and pull it back out in case there's a clog. And then the other thing I'm going to have off here in the background is a baby wipe. And I'm just going to keep that because you're not going to want to muddy your image with different colors. So you're going to want to wipe your finger off, which is going to be your other tool that you're going to use as you do this technique. Okay, so I'm going to put some of these aside over here. And just kind of a word to the wise, I start with my softest color first. So I'm going to start with the cantaloupe. And what you're going to do, oh, and I guess I should tell you why I'm using this heart puzzle image. So I used to work with children who have severe mental disabilities, and I'm actually in school full-time right now to finish my teaching degree. But April is Autism Awareness Month, and the autism symbol kind of thing is a puzzle piece. And so I thought that this was such a great image to use for Autism Awareness Month. And the colors I'm using are because for Autism Awareness they use a lot of rainbow colors, but the main piece that's going to be missing is blue because that is the color of Autism Awareness. So there you go, just a little aside as to why I'm using this image in April. You're probably like, what in the world? It's not Valentine's Day. You're right, it's not. It's another special day for me and hopefully for you once you get to know more about that topic. Anyway, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with the cantaloupe, and you kind of push it down so there's already some of the liquid pearls in your nozzle. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to like really quickly and lightly kind of fill in around. And it's going to look kind of bad, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger and you're going to kind of smash it down carefully and spread it around so that it's in that whole thing. And you can take your baby wipe and you can like clean it off of some of the embossing if you don't want it there and stuff like that. Take off excess because I think I got a little bit too much. Be very careful not to get too much. This takes very little minimum. So I've got that one done. Clean it up here a little bit. And I'm going to do, I think, this one up here in the cantaloupe as well. And like I said, it doesn't take very much, so don't put too much. Just kind of push that down. And the less you use, the easier it is to not smear it into the other sections. Okay, so I'm done with my cantaloupe, so I'm going to go on to my next color, which is this bright orange called Pumpkin. And these dry really quickly also as you're doing this, so you don't really have to be too terribly careful. And see, this one got a clog, so luckily I have my little pin here. I can clean that out real quick. I can go back to doing what I was doing. That's why I always keep pins around like that. Okay, so I'm coloring this in with a pumpkin. And like I was saying before I had the clog, this dries really quickly when you do this way, so you don't have to really worry about smudging the other colors as you go along. And if you don't like the look of your fingerprint in there. When it gets a little bit drier, just kind of smooth it with your finger and then you won't see the fingerprint. But after you put the glitter on, you're not going to really see that anyway. So then I'm going to use this ruby red. And this one comes out really quickly for me because I think I messed up the nozzle when I was doing something sometime. So I've got my ruby red. Take my finger, spread this around. And I also don't care if it goes outside of the lines. I'm okay with that because it kind of gives kind of a nice, I don't know, glowing effect to the image, but it's totally up to you. You can be as messy or as not messy as you want. And I feel like no matter what you do, it's going to look good. Next, I'm going to do my green, which is ivy green. And you're going to want to make sure that you get in, like if there's little tiny crevices, I'm making sure I'm getting into these little portions of the puzzle piece. This one I put too much on, so I'm going to use this finger too and kind of take some of that off. And maybe even this finger too. And the other thing you can do too is if you end up getting some of one color into another piece, like I just got some green into this orange, you can just quickly go back, or rather maybe wait until it's dry, but I think it's already dry, and just go back over that in the color that it was supposed to be. I mean, that's how flexible coloring with liquid pearls is. You can cover up mistakes easily. It's just really awesome. And I love the shine that it kind of gives to it also. Okay, so I did that one green, and I think I'm going to do this one up here green. And you can even do this, like this would be really pretty with flower images. I did this earlier back last year around Halloween time with a Halloween card. And one of the DT members at Great Impressions actually asked for this tutorial, and that's why I'm doing it this month. When I saw this image, I knew that's what I wanted to use for this tutorial. Okay, the next color I'm going to use is the purple, which is Orchid. And I am saving the blue for the last because that's the color for autism. There's actually a site called Lighted Up Blue that becomes really popular around April because April is Autism Awareness Month. I'm going to do that one purple. Go ahead and utilize as many fingers as you want to. And when I move my finger or my hand off screen, it's because I'm using the baby wipe to kind of wash my finger off. And I think I'll do this one purple. Anyway, so yes, Lighted Up Blue. And there are other autism sites out there as well. So if that's something that you would like to become active in, it's a fabulous cause, and these kids are so awesome. I loved working with children who have autism. They can be handfuls, but they are also incredibly loving, and so it's such a great honor to have been able to work with them. Okay, I've got my purple done, I think. And then the blue that I chose, because it's mainly a royal blue that they use for autism awareness. So the blue that I chose is called Ocean Blue, and it's more of like a true blue. So I'm going to do this one up here. And as you can see, I'm still trying to get really good into the crevices. And then I'm going to do this main puzzle piece in blue, since that's the autism awareness color. So then after you get all of these done, the ones that you did earlier on probably are dry, or at least should be dry. I don't like how I got some of this onto the paper, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to clean it up as much as I want to. There we go. That looks pretty good. There we go. So your ones that you did earlier on should be dry, so you can go ahead and already start putting the stickles on if you want it. The stickles just give a little bit of added shine and dimension. The stickles that I'm using is called Stardust. And I like to do my pieces individually instead of just adding the stickles all over, because I feel like that kind of gives it a more pieced together feel like the puzzle needs. Or if it was like flowers, it would look like, yeah, there's pretty sparkles on the flower, but also on the leaf, but it doesn't look like just one giant glob. If that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense. Anyway, so you just do that, add your little stickles in, and it adds some shine to it. And it kind of also seals in the color, which is nice also. I'll just do one more and then I won't bore you anymore. I just kind of, there we go. So there you can see the difference between the ones that are glittered and the ones that aren't. And let me get that closer to you so you can kind of see the difference. So this side without the glitter is still shiny, but this with the glitter just kind of gives it a little extra something. And so that's why on my card I added the glitter, because children with autism can shine too. They're amazing. So there's my Autism Awareness Friends card, made for Great Impressions stamp this month. I hope that you take some time today to try out this tutorial. It's not hard and it's really fun, and just use the colors that you have on hand. This would also work just with regular paint if you had regular paint, but I find that liquid pearls are easier to work with because they dry a little bit quicker. Hop on over to the Great Impressions blog to check out more inspiration with these fabulous stamps, and go ahead and then grab some of these images from the store. Until next time, happy stamping, friends.